My sort of journey into the university, I left school at 16, a bit disengaged in academia as a young person, school where it wasn't for me. I went an apprenticeship route. So I joined the army at 16, did an apprenticeship in electrical engineering. So I wanted to try and find a course that was all around managing coastlines for sustainability. Found a course, and it just so happened that the course was running at the college back in my home county in Pembrokeshire, which was then an affiliated college to University of South Wales. I studied coastal zone management over the course of 4 years. Whilst I was studying at Pembrokeshire College, I saw a sign on a wall in one of the corridors, and it said volunteer at the Darwin Centre. And I thought, well, that sounds really interesting, I wonder what that is. So I went along to the Darwin Centre office, and they had a very small schools programme, and that was the bit that I really focused on. And I was thinking to myself, what would have engaged me as a 10-year-old, because they were usually working with primary schools, what would have engaged me then to have got me to be interested in academia when I was in secondary school, which I wasn't. And I thought more of the stuff I was learning about at college now, if only that was being taught when you were 10. So in my last 2 years of university, I was part-time working, running this education programme that I developed called the Darwin Experience. When I was asked if I'd like to lead the Darwin Centre, I felt I needed some more skills. I enlisted onto the business management master's course at the University of South Wales. I did that on a day a week for 3 years. So I started my academic journey with the university when I was 28, and then I finished it when I was 36. During that time, Bluestone, where I currently work, had opened with this great vision of being a really sustainable resort here in beautiful Pembrokeshire, based in the National Park. And they set up a foundation to work with local communities. And they had seen the good work I'd been doing at the Darwin Centre and asked me to be an independent committee member on that foundation. I sat on that foundation for, well, I still sit on that foundation now, so that's been about 11 years now. And when they were setting up a department at Bluestone specifically around responsible business and sustainability, they invited me basically to come and help to set up and lead that new department. So a working day starts for me, I'm usually in at about 6:45, and I got time to go through my emails, deal with any administration that I need to do before everybody arrives at Bluestone. I do quite a lot of meetings, but they're usually exciting meetings about setting up new projects or working with new partners. So the key areas of my remit that I work on are biodiversity, and we've got 500 acres here of amazing wild areas which we're developing. Some of them are historic wild areas, some old woodlands, but most of it was formerly a dairy farm. So we've been developing habitats, planting woodlands, creating lakes, widening hedgerows, and creating new corridors for wildlife. So there's loads of exciting stuff going on there. So part of what I'm trying to achieve here are more circular economies. So we look at where we can reuse or upcycle or donate any of our items that we might have that aren't serviceable for us. We've got 7 restaurants here, and all of our staff, 700 staff, and then all of our guests, about 150,000 of those a year. All of that is collected and sent for anaerobic digestion locally, and that generates green energy from the methane that's produced. The best thing I ever did, this is before I graduated, so if you're not a graduate, you can do this too, but volunteering. You know, if I hadn't volunteered at the Darwin Centre, I would never have had that opportunity. The person that took over the Darwin Centre from me, she was a graduate as well, and she got her foot in the door through volunteering too. And it was that volunteering on the steering committee of Bluestone that got me recognised by them and got me this job. So volunteering has been my key.